welcome to Shooting the Shift. This week I'm Bam. That's Bryn.
Team Tired represent.
That's Milton.
Hello.
That's Chris.
Yo.
So Matt's not here because he's being an adult and buying a house and being boring. More evidence to his old man status. So Chris from ChrisDrift has
From me.
From him.
Where am I from? I'm not from
Chris
anything.
from being Chris.
Chris from
from
being
my mother's
Chris
womb.
on YouTube and having significantly more subscribers than us, and
Oh, they're going down. Don't worry. We'll be level soon. Every time Bryn appears, I lose about 100. There's a correlation in the graph, you know.
is that jealousy that you've got a Bryn or?
Hey, Bryn.
I think it's just the mullet just puts people off, to be honest.
Is Bryn a unit of currency then?
Is Bryn a unit?
Bryn is a unit of weight, Milton.
He's a unit. He's a unit, all right.
Unit.
Do we need to ask Chris, how many Bryns do you weigh?
Yeah.
Bryn's by the way. You never ask a person their weight?
It's a very important
We
question.
ask every guest on this show how many Bryns they weigh.
I'd say about 1.5. 1.5 Bryns.
Still
Is
the
that
highest.
respectable
I'm
answer?
still the highest Bryn measurement then. At
2.3,
2.3.
2.4.
2.3. I've lost some more weight, Milton.
I was taking the. Oh, I've lost the game.
You have lost
What's
the
the
game.
game?
Yeah. Now Milton has to come and clean up the dog poop in my back garden.
Well, what's the game? No one told me about the game.
The first person to
swear.
swear has
Bryn
to.
already broke that. He said the F-bomb.
Nah.
He did.
Ooh.
Because I took that as the floodgates are open. for me to say what I want.
I will check the action replay for
You did.
beeps when
Check
we
the footage.
upload.
He did.
And we have like a slow motion.
Yeah,
instant
like with like
replay
big flashing
swoosh.
things at the
I
top
think-
and the bottom.
I think knowing that Chris is on this episode, and one of the first things he asked when we invited him was, "I hope you don't like being monetized." We might
Yeah,
just
fair
have to have a little counter for the number of beeps that someone incurs through this episode.
I haven't sworn once. It was Bryn and
I'm
Milton.
impressed, given that you even offended my mother with your language.
Was that your mum?
That was mum. She was very unhappy.
I wondered who I was. I'm sorry. I'll edit that out.
So Chris has joined us. Some of you who know Bryn will obviously know Chris because he has been creating many 3D render and engineering thing. Some of you who watch BDC might have seen Chris.
Might see me failing to qualify in a couple rounds. Pretty proud of that.
Consistently consistent.
Consistent.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
consistency. At least you know your level.
Exactly. Well, I thought I did, and then I didn't qualify. So,
Is
Is
it Drift Cup level?
Yeah, that was a bit lower than I thought it was. But yeah, no, we've been doing a lot of CAD stuff. Bryn's got a present for me as well, haven't you? On
I've
stream.
got a
Yeah.
present.
Oh, hang on. Are we opening that now? Or are we
I've-
saving it?
Whenever you like.
If you're willing to open it now, then I'm fine with that.
Do
So
it.
before-
World exclusive.
World
Chris
premiere.
is
I haven't even
actually here to talk about rusty Nissans with us this week, but
This is the least rusty thing
Yeah,
ever.
this bit won't go rusty.
Let's get a bit of ASMR going.
Oh God, don't like it when he does this.
On silent.
I can't hear
Have you-
anything.
Have you muted
no
yourself, Bryn?
ASMR going on at all, Bryn.
Okay, well, I'll just open it quickly then.
Yeah. Well, should we maybe explain what this is? Right. Yeah. I'll
Right.
explain what this is.
No, we should
Intake
unveil
level.
it.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Go on, Chris, explain what we're doing here.
Right, I'll give the short version. Basically, because of the twin turbo setup on the 370Z, we're having them both at the front, and it would be a lot easier if the intake for the throttle body was at the front of the car. And on the standard intake plenum, it's not. It's at the back, which makes life a bit awkward for us. So somehow we got from that to spending a lot of money on this, which Bryn has done all the CAD work for and designed all this. And we don't know if it fits yet, do we? Actually, have you offered it up? So this is the new
Haven't.
billet piece, which is looking very swish.
This is, yeah.
Stick it close. I haven't seen it up
This
close.
is
That is-
50 kilograms of aluminium has become 3.5.
It was 50 to start with, wasn't it? Yeah. It's
Kilos.
crazy.
50. Wow.
50 kilograms, yes.
What
can't
did they?
believe it.
What are they using the other 46.5 kilos?
Yeah.
Quick
It's now
maths.
very expensive wood chip.
It's got your logo on the front as well, because you did all the CAD stuff.
My logo on the front.
We've got the little O-ring groove as well.
O-ring
Front body
grooves,
thing.
little houses for various fittings.
Yep.
We can
Yeah, we
can
went
only
to town.
apologise for Milton disappearing for a moment there.
Yeah, I have no idea what it keeps shutting down.
It's all right, Milton. I'll just replace a suitable image in the edit for you.
It just closed Zoom and then reopens.
Yeah, no, that's.
It's pretty
Really?
mad.
I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've got my first taste of what it must feel like to bring your child home from hospital for the first time. Except I made this with hard work and dedication instead of nut milk and patience.
Oh my god.
Bryn, the other advantage is it's not going to keep you up all night as long as you've got your maths right.
It kept me
Yeah.
up all night. It's definitely kept me up all night.
I feel like it depends if it fits. Like, but you say you've not offered it up to the lower half yet.
I mean, the lower half is there.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to offer it up?
Nah.
That worries me.
No, don't.
I'm just gonna not find out.
Do it, Bryn.
He doesn't want the
Go on.
disappointment.
Go on, Bryn.
Yeah, do it.
Do
Let's
it,
have
do
some
it,
live
do it, do it.
disappointment.
What? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not gonna turn my camera because you'll just see what. A
Well, just
horrendous
put the lower bit on your lap,
Yeah.
and then put the other bit on top of the lower bit.
Okay, hang on. You boys talk amongst yourselves.
So, do you come here often?
It's my first time.
How long's Bryn been working on this one for you then, Chris?
Quite a while. Like, it's got to be a couple of months, hasn't it, Bryn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it must be.
It's been a while. Because, like, I don't really know how we got to this point, to be honest, because it was literally like, oh, it'd be nice if the throttle body was at the front, wouldn't it? And
Yeah,
somehow...
well, that's where we left it. We were just talking about it, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we could just do like a new top, and then I think the idea just bubbled in his
Yeah.
head. And every time
When-
you looked at the original one and it wasn't at the front, you was like, ah.
Yeah. It
So
was-
the intake was at the back, like the.
Yeah, right at the back. But then it, like, bends all the way around to get round to the front. And that would have been going right into where one of the turbo... Yeah, so this is the mock-up I made.
So
I just
wait,
welded some...
they. So
Yeah.
they
That's
take.
the way around it is on the car.
Yeah.
So they take.
We take air from the front of the car and route it
They
all
take-
the way to the back
They
end.
take air from the front of the car
Yeah.
across hot bits of engine bay.
Yeah, it goes right over the top of the exhaust manifold, which is another reason I didn't want to do that.
So
and then
this is,
into that,
this, is, this is essentially a far more expensive way of doing what I did to the MX-5 and situating the filter right next to the driver's side headlight, which was the coldest bit of the bay.
Yeah, it was unfortunately not that easy for us on this. So we had to make a whole new thing. You're right.
Is that heavy, Bryn?
This might be the best episode yet, just for Bryn's face.
Right,
This
which
is-
way round does this go?
So,
This is the stock lower intake, because this is the thing, we've only made the top half.
yeah.
It's like, that's why it looks so similar to the stock one, because it has to mate up with the bottom half. So let's see. Is it gonna fit? Oh, yes.
Look at his
Okay.
little proud
He was
face.
happy.
So, I did it. I did it. I'll put it on the fridge, Bryn. All right.
We're gonna pop a bolt in as well.
Oh,
That was the most
Oh,
satisfying bolt drop I've ever
Is that
seen.
not a single bit of cross threading, just perfect.
Bryn, do you want to redesign my Skunk 2 intake manifold on the 5 for me?
Redesign everything.
No, but I'll do you a crank.
Yeah,
Don't.
he'll do anything.
Don't tell me stuff like that, Bryn. Why would you tell me stuff like that, Bryn?
oh, those nut drops.
It's just...
Oh, that's gonna keep me up. It's gonna keep
That's
me
the
up.
thumbnail. That's the thumbnail.
That is the thumbnail.
I'll lick
Oh.
it.
The annoying thing is now that I know that Chris is going to get Bryn to send him a photo of that, so it'll be out on the internet before this episode, and we can't...
I've already screenshotted it. I've already screenshotted it. Don't worry.
Print screen.
What?
No, you can't hear that, can you?
No,
Yes.
a little bit.
A little bit, a
Yeah.
little
We're
bit.
scratching my plenum.
Are you gonna coat it in like wax or like a
No,
I
that
think
that
so.
is a thing that you don't want to coat it in anything. That's the thing of beauty.
nice? Not wax, but like polish, so it doesn't.
Oh, no.
I don't think so, no.
But it stays nice and clean and shiny.
It's not going to stay clean. It's going to
I
be in my
suppose
engine bay. It's not going to stay clean. Give us a spin, Bryn. Give us a twister around 180.
It's really heavy.
Hey, you've got arms.
Precariously balanced on my tiny knees.
Yeah,
Prove
we
it
just
fits
fit all the way
perfectly
around.
and you're not just hiding
Yeah.
something atrocious at the back.
Yeah, there's like a massive gap at one end. It's just show us.
Oh no, there's a hole in it.
How is she meant to get your llamas in?
Yeah, the llama thrusts. They got to go somewhere.
There you go.
That does look really
Yeah.
good.
That is mint.
You
You know what
played,
does annoy
Bryn.
me though? The bolts aren't even. They're not.
Yeah.
No.
It's really annoying because that's the first thing we tried was we took the standard one off and went, what if you turn it round? Oh, it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Every time I post a picture of it, everyone's like, why don't you just turn the stock one round? I'm like, we fucking tried that.
Oh, really? Thanks, guy.
But yeah, no, that looks spot on. Do you want to explain about the O-ring on the front as well? Because that's not there on the standard.
Well, yeah, to actually get the throttle body to bolt up to the front, we couldn't quite get this bolt pattern and this bolt pattern to work. So this is not the standard throttle body bolt pattern. There's going to be an adapter piece that, like an elephant schlong. But as part of that, there's no gasket that you can put on the front. So being from a motorsport background, I went back to the old favorite O-rings, just a rubber O-ring. There is no better seal than a rubber O-ring. So this
Even
is...
silicon, like Papadakis said. He said he just squirts a bit of silicon into his 2J manifold and it's boom, done.
I love Stefan Papadakis, but that is the ghetto way of sealing things.
And it's
He's put O-ring grooves in quite a lot of things, though, to be fair, and that's a better way of doing it. So, yeah, O-ring groove on the front, and then it will take the standard manifold gasket, the throttle body gasket, when it gets down to
At the other end, yeah.
And I really wish that I had the elephant schlong to put on the front of this.
No, I've still got the elephant schlong at my place.
You do. You do.
So what you will all have to do, as much as you've seen this the first time on this channel, is go to Chris's channel to watch the other bit where they put it all together, and that
Where we
links
actually-
in the
yeah.
description.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's all right.
But yeah, well, we stick it on the car. And well, I mean, I guess we know it all fits perfectly now because that's the only bit it's got to fit on.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
We 3D printed all the bits for checking clearances and things like that, so we know it works.
I guess the only other thing is the bonnet could still catch on the very top of the. I mean, we checked that. It shouldn't, but I'm just saying,
but
like, if we got
Chris,
anything
there is-
wrong,
there is an ancient and traditional petrol head way of solving that problem.
just got a hole in the
it.
bonnet.
Now you do what my friend Will did when he was restoring his BMW, and you just leave a spanner on top of the intake when you close the bonnet, and it fixes all your clearance issues on your brand new, freshly painted bonnet.
clearance is clearance, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to put
That's
this
it.
down now because I don't think I
You-
can have children anymore.
Yeah. You got. Speaking of children.
Speaking of children, yeah. See, even the little one, Milton's little one's excited about.
I'm amazed how quickly it got done. Like, because Bryn knows a guy who did the machining,
Yeah.
and he said it said about a month, didn't he, originally? And then like a week later, it's like, yeah, it's done. It's like, what?
Yeah, he kind of ended up with a little bit of spare time. Big shout out to Luke, Stratos Performance, that do all
Yeah,
the
Stratos
work.
Performance,
Is
there
that
we go.
COVID related spare time or?
No, he just had some jobs and things all moved around at his work, so I think he was quite excited to do this as well.
Yeah, it was good. He was sending us video updates and stuff like every few days of what like the different finish and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah,
It
no.
was good for him because it's not very
old-
often that he gets to machine something like this that there's not any kind of NDA or secrecy around. So I said to him, like, you know, if you want to post videos of this, post pictures, go wild. And I think
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. I think-
is it or manual? So is it not? Don't just put it on a.
No,
on a
it's-
thing and
it's
then
all
press it.
CNC, but it has to be programmed, and he has to work out how you're going to do the tool paths and things like that. So there's quite a lot of time spent doing that. And then when you're machining the first one, you pretty much have to watch it like a hawk and make sure nothing goes wrong. He says,
Just
"As
sitting
you
there with a
get
big
further-"
red button.
Yeah, this was 2 days worth of machining. By the end of the second day, he said he was just on edge constantly. He scrapped it at that point.
Ow. Can you
Yeah, I
imagine
never
just
even thought about
slips and dropped some of the bolt holes or something?
Yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah, like, I just assume because it's CNC, you assume it's going to be perfect. But if they get anything wrong when they're setting it up,
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
So moving on. Speaking of Well, actually, no, not speaking of disastrous things, but now moving on to disastrous things. The reason, because none of us knew Bryn was going to have that tonight, so that's a nice...
Oh, right. Okay.
He had not informed us that had arrived today.
It's just a random show and tell.
Yeah,
okay.
so I think the first thing is, the other bit of show and tell that's going to happen soon is there's going to be an unboxing of some stuff from a new affiliate partner for detailing products. The affiliate link's in the description tonight, but I'll go through what's in their mystery boxes in a little 15-minute episode rather than boring Chris, who's probably not into cleaning his car.
How did you know? I don't.
I've seen a few videos of just cars getting stuck in mud. I think is one of
we got stuck in anything. Yeah, I got stuck in snow a lot.
And random McDonald's purchases. That was the other one I saw this week.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. That was fun. I don't clean my cars. The Range Rover. I've had it 3 years now. I've never cleaned it. Ever.
I have a question.
Yep.
Why Nissan 350 370Z platform? Why not another drift car platform?
Because I like newer stuff, and for newer rear, Bryn's shaking his head. For newer rear-wheel drive, like driftable platforms, there's not a lot. You've got GT86 6, which I had and wasn't very keen on, and then you've got 350Zs and 370s. That's about it. Like
S15?
Not quite new enough, and also just overdone. I feel like that's like just the default for everyone. If you want a nice drift car, that's what everyone has. And I was like, I don't want to just get the exact same thing as everyone else. So
Hijet's mid-engined rear-wheel drive.
You were sorry?
Hijet's a mid-engined rear-wheel drive.
No.
What is?
From 1912.
No, you can still get them brand new in Japan, Bryn.
What did he say? A Hijet?
A Hijet?
Hijet.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a pickup truck.
You know those tiny little...
It's a K pickup truck.
I thought we were talking about drift cars.
Don't get him started.
I can send you some videos, Chris.
Oh, you can drift anything if you try hard enough, but like, I don't know.
There's a joke there. Anything can be anything if you try hard enough.
Sure.
No,
yeah, that's why.
You like newer cars, don't you? Which is painful sometimes.
Yeah, like I don't know why I like newer cars because.
Say what? I guess they don't rust much or they're reliable, right?
Yeah, they don't rust much at all.
So
the 370. Oh my god, 370. If you haven't seen the pictures that I put on Instagram and stuff and videos, 370 was what 9 years old when I got it, and it is rusty as shit underneath. Like it's so bad.
Have we lost Chris's video?
We have lost Chris's video.
We have, yeah.
That's weird.
How has that happened?
Who's your mate?
I don't even understand. I'm not sure what I can do to fix that because I'm still here.
Swoosh.
Moving on.
Technical difficulties, we're back.
Yeah, technical difficulties in the form of...
My face is now in the same universe as my hand. So that's good.
You lost your mate.
Chris's GoPro doing special effects for him, and Milton's Zoom just
decided to
switching
shut down.
itself off, basically. So
where were we?
We were talking about we were getting onto rusty stuff.
Rusty stuff. The 370 being insanely rusty. Yeah.
What year was the 370?
It's 2011, I think. No, 2010.
Right.
2010.
So what points have gone rusty on it?
Everything underneath, basically.
A shorter list to say what's not rusty.
And is that a UK car or an import?
I can't actually remember. The 350 was an import. This one I think is a UK car. But everyone, when I first put videos of like how bad the rear subframe was and stuff, everyone was like, "Oh, you just bought a terrible example." I literally looked under one that was 2 years old, and it was already rusting quite a lot under there. They just like I said something on Facebook the other day. I got some brand new parts from Nissan for the 370 turned up with rust on from the factory.
I'm
they
gonna
turn up with rust on.
I'm going to dare to agree and say it's not that it's a bad example.
No,
So I've got the Stagia, and Nissan did some, quite frankly, weird stuff when they were building that car, including but not limited to putting foam behind the wing mirror, but water can get to the foam, and now there's rust under my wing mirror on the door.
Nice.
I'm not entirely sure how water got into the original RS4S boot lid, but before I switched it out for the multicolored one that people will see when we do the walk around, I could see through the inside of that behind the number plate.
Well,
Yeah, that's not good.
much rust.
Yeah.
And then there's the wheel arches, and then the standard that era of Skyline strut top rust.
I've seen people repairing them. Well, I don't know much about Skylines, but I've seen people repairing them.
That tells you what you
Yeah.
need.
That's
all
why
you
I
need
have
to know.
over fenders and side skirts.
Classic.
I'd say it is not there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get away on the rear arches. I think there's just enough rust to get away with mesh and filler and fiberglass. I know, Bryn, but some Yank's buying it in 10 years' time anyway.
This is true.
I'm making this face because that's what my chassis rails are made of, and I did that like 5 years ago, and it's not come back through yet.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I only just got the car, and I was like, this is definitely the right answer.
That doesn't seem like a you thing to do.
That's
I was
old,
young
Bryn.
and foolish.
Yeah. It was what?
Young, foolish,
Oh,
pouring
yeah.
on my mum's driveway.
Nowadays, you'd have spent 4 days cadding something up.
Yeah, he would. And he would have been satisfied with the answers that people gave him. He'd have been like, I'm going to write a new thesis on how to repair rust. You know.
Do you know how to fix it?
Everybody,
Paper mache.
everybody else's panels for the rust repair aren't quite set up right, are they, Bryn?
Yeah,
Probably not.
he's such an autist.
Can't help it.
We love it.
We appreciate it, really.
I appreciate his autism, yeah, because he designs good stuff like that intake. So yeah, I'm well happy. Everyone seems to enjoy our content together as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Weird.
the question the internet really wants us to ask.
We're not a couple.
I was only going to ask when the wedding is, Chris.
Right, sorry. You what? Sorry. What are you going to ask?
When's the wedding, mate?
So you were going to ask that. That's all right. I thought you were going to say you're going to ask something completely different. I was like,
No.
that was all, wasn't it?
No, we were going there. If we didn't
Yeah.
go there, like, you know, we'd have left people wanting more.
I'm sure we were voted BDC's best power couple.
Fuck's sake.
BDC best couple.
I don't even get it. Like, what have we done? We literally just make stupid videos work on cars twice a month.
I think people are jealous. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
How dare two people of the same sex have fun with clothes on?
Let's not call it that. But yeah, no, we just dick about at the unit. You come up, like, the problem is because we live quite far away from each other, we can't just go and do stuff like every now and then, can we? It has to be like plan like a proper like weekend.
Yeah.
Of, like, you come and stay, and like we'll do load of stuff like all
This is
weekend.
not
like,
helping the case at all, Chris.
It's not really.
We have
We
to-
sleep in separate beds.
We have to
but, like,
plan a special weekend.
a weekend away for me and Bryn. Yeah, it's not sounding great, but
Yeah, we have dinner dates. He takes me down to Subway.
not true. I used to, and then I couldn't eat Subway anymore, so now we
He
don't.
pays for expensive bits of aluminium for you to make your parts from. So basically, Chris is your sugar daddy.
Yeah, I mean it worked great for me. I get to design cool stuff and ruin someone else's car.
This is the thing, yeah. You're always like, well, it's not my car. I don't care. I'm like, great.
It's the most liberating thing.
It is. Whenever I've helped anyone else with anything else, I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's great when it's not yours because you don't have to get that.
Just drill a hole in there or cut that off. You don't need that.
Exactly. That's what everyone says. It's like,
That's where most of our conversations of how should we do this. Well, this seems kind of dodgy. End with one of us going, "That'd be right."
usually me, and you go, no, it won't. I'm crying for half an hour, and then you have a monster, and you perk up, and then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And then doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So how is the car going, Chris?
Not really.
Ah.
Partly because Bryn's got part of your engine at his house,
yeah.
right?
It's not going anywhere at the moment, is it? Bryn's holding the air intake on his crotch. Is that where it still is?
No, it's on the floor, I think.
Over there now. I've put it in the pile of car stuff.
I'm just trying to give you a chance to plug your car and you.
Yeah, tell us about it, Chris.
It's a car. Goes zoom. It doesn't yet.
Makes noise as it goes sideways. So right. So what I'm curious about is my 20-year-old Nissan less rusty?
I bet it is, you know. On the subframe.
Yeah, not anymore. We got rid of all the metal.
No, we cut most of the back end off. Yeah, much to the dismay of the internet.
I feel like I need to like come up at some point and just go, here's my rust. Where's the holes in yours?
Yeah.
There was the bit where Chris posted the picture after we'd cut out the stuff for the rear radiator setup, and the BDC scrutineer went, "Have you guys cut that rear cross member out?" And then didn't reply again.
Then just left everyone arguing about whether that was okay. Yeah.
Massive long chain of comments saying whether it's okay. Didn't reply again. Like, hello, is it okay?
Yeah. Have you since found out if it's okay?
Yeah, Bryn spoke to him, didn't you?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, most of it was because it's in the way we can do it, and also the main reason we do it is because it was really, really rusty. Because we're basically putting that structure back in again, he's fairly happy with it. But
that's the thing. They don't want you taking the.
Sorry.
They don't want you taking the cutting out half the car to say wait, and then it just be not structurally sound. So as long as you're doing it like in a sensible way, like some of the people, I don't want to name any names. Some people cut everything away, and you're like, how is the car even still standing? And then that's when they're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Or like engine bays and stuff.
Not even just engine bays, but yeah, I know where you're going with that. But yeah, not even engine bays, but everything.
Milton, is there going to ever be a week where we film this and you don't just try and stir the pot, mate?
Is he just throwing shade at people all the time? Is that his job?
I'm just jealous.
He's got his little stick and he's poking.
He's here to cause he's here to cause trouble, Chris, because he didn't win last year and he's got to make me some money somehow.
That makes sense.
I lost to a foreigner. I'm allowed to say that because he's my friend.
I don't know what relevance that's got to anything, but sure.
I was half expecting him to finish that and then just go, "They took our gym!"
Took my trophy. It did go on and win the whole Gymkhana on the grid, beating Daigo Sato. And
that's all right. Then.
So
you can't be mad losing to that
in a 200 horsepower car.
And he was like super friendly.
Oh, I love Mantas. He's great.
Yeah.
Hi Mantas, if you watch.
He was really welcoming when I came and stuck cameras all over everything.
Yes, you saw him, didn't you, at Coventry?
Yeah.
He sounds like a good guy to lose to then, if you're going to lose.
Yeah,
you want to lose to a sportsman. You don't want to lose to...
I'm Pickle Rick!
So, Chris, you've gone from a 370 to 350 to 370.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you... You got the 350 working pretty well.
No, if I remember the actual list, it's 86 to 350.
Yeah, the GTA 6.
Yeah, but that wasn't proper built drift car, though, was it?
No, that was just fun.
Street car.
Yeah, that was my learning car, really.
But why go from the 350 to 370?
Because there was a load of stuff that we did on the 350 that we were just learning. Well, I was just learning as I went along, building the 350 pretty much. And there's a load of stuff afterwards that, like, after a year of driving, and we had a load of coolant issues as well. Bryn knows all about them. We had a lot of issues with it overheating. And there was just loads of stuff that just could be done way better on it. And so eventually I was like, I can either spend this winter just basically redoing everything on the 350, which is hard when you've already done it all, because, you know, trying to modify stuff you've already done is awkward. And it would still look a bit bodged, you know what I mean? Or I already had the 370, and I was like, we could just start afresh on this. I've already got it sat here. It's already got a cage. So let's start afresh on that and kind of take everything that we learned from the 350 and do it better on the 370. So that's the plan. Unfortunately, over winter, I didn't really do a lot. So it didn't really work out. But we started. We made some progress before that. And then it got cold, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to just be stood here in the cold on my own. So I'm just going to wait till it warms up. So,
When's round one of BDC?
Who knows? At this point, who knows?
Isn't it been announced, or is it now?
June 12th, mate.
Yeah, sure.
We ain't going to be there.
Yeah, we ain't going to be there.
No, we'll be.
But I think a lot of people aren't. That's the thing. A lot of people aren't ready for the first round all the time. You remember the first season we did a BDC?
Oh, yeah.
It was
There were like 4 cars.
There wasn't even enough people to qualify. Like,
Really?
literally, you turned up and you qualified. Like, someone didn't even do a qualifying run, and they qualified.
So
because there just weren't enough people.
So
There's another joke there about qualifications.
Moving on from drifting for dummies and knowing that fact, right? What do I have to do to just enter BDC? with no drifting skill at all qualify and go, I
No.
qualified once.
I don't even know what the
OnlyFans.
rules are now. I guess you still got to go. No, you can't go through Drift Cup now because reasons.
They're separate, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've
So I guess
got
you've got to
their
go through
own
like RDC and SDC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, BDC have introduced their own thing, haven't they? Like a starter feeder series.
So I've
Which
I've still got to learn to go sideways then.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
You can't get straight into BDC. You have to come up
Yeah.
through the feeders.
How much money do I need to throw at that problem then, Chris?
Not that much.
Well, just look at other people that have overbuilt cars and gone up the ranks.
Yeah. Like who? Go on, Milton. Upset someone else. Like who?
I'm not saying anything now.
He's gone shy now.
So, that little tangent.
Yeah, little
What
tangent.
are we swishing back into? What were we
We
talking
are
about?
swishing back into
Cars and building and...
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the 370. I mean, basically, what you were saying before is that there were a lot of things on the 350 which weren't quite right, but that's just because that was kind of a practice car, and then you wanted to do Drift Cup, so you built it a little bit, and then you qualified for BDC, so we did the twin turbo stuff a couple of years ago, but there's never been any time to sit down and do it right because it's always been evolving. And then you got to the point where it was, okay, well, now start again so that the car is at the level that I want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, we changed a lot of stuff as well. Then we're going to Wisefab now because I didn't have an angle kit for ever. And then the GK Tech.
Take note to everybody else in drifting. You can
Watch my
qualify
shallow
for
drifting.
BDC without Wisefab.
And the V8.
And a V8.
So-
Although it's still a 3.5 litre engine. It's pretty potent.
Genuine question
Ooh.
about the 350 because that's an import.
Mhm.
Did that have the ridiculous speed limiter that?
Yeah, but the previous owner had done something with that already because there was a little HKS box in the glove box.
You mean
Yeah,
one of
probably one of
those
those.
little
yeah, one of those.
one
Yeah,
of them? Yeah, that
there's one of those in the glove box
So
already.
I discovered that exists. The first time I ever took the Stagia to 120 mile an hour.
Is
In
that what the
Mexico,
limit
right?
is?
Actually, I was on a drag strip, Milton, for a check.
Okay.
I was not in Mexico.
Getting
I
that
was
thing
on
to
a drag.
120 on the drag strip.
He was
112, isn't it?
He was about to get pink slips on him.
Yeah.
No,
And the car just died on him.
No, I genuinely 120 mile an hour. Car just goes as the fuel just stops running into the block because that's how that.
Is that what they do?
That's it's a fuel cut.
Fuel
speed
cut.
limit
Wow.
on the
Is-
stage.
That's
Yeah.
brutal.
Like so,
Bryn,
you are
is-
literally you are like, I've just the engine,
Yeah.
and I'd had the car 3 weeks.
Good effort.
Bryn, isn't there one on the MX-5 as well? And it's just a screw in the speedo?
Yes, there
Yeah,
is.
on the imports, you just wind this screw out and jobs are good.
Yep.
Because it's 112 miles an hour or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how it works because I've never had an import, but I like to think that there's like a contact on the back of the speedo.
Yeah.
There is in fact, it's like it's a screw that goes in, Bryn, with a little copper contact that the screw connects, and I don't know why removing that screw like that takes it out, but yeah, the speed limiter buggers off when you take this one little tiny screw out. That all it is as well is it's a copper ring on the back of the speedo with a screw in it. There is no, it makes no
Right.
sense.
I'd like to see what that actually does. Love to follow a wiring diagram.
Yeah.
But thankfully, MX-5s are very simple like that because the 350 has a few bits and bobs like that that are a real pain, aren't
They're
they?
not that bad. You overstate this. You were like, I saw you saying to someone like, "Oh, don't get a 350 because there's so much electrical stuff," and it's like you pull one fuse.
Not how
done.
that went.
That is.
Is this a thing where you'd have to turn the car off and on after one run or two runs
No.
because you'd lose the brakes?
No.
It's the brake, the one that was a pain because you and Luke had all the traction control and stability control and stuff out, but the one that was a pain was okay.
I'll turn the lights off.
Is the brake, wasn't it? It took a minute or two to work out how to override that. If you
Oh, so you could brake and be on throttle at the same time.
it doesn't
Yeah.
like that. It just
No.
cuts power.
Well, you can cut one wire and then it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
just
like an
remember it taking a little while to work that out, because wasn't there also the thing that if you had it cut for too long and the car didn't see the brake lights for too long, it would then go into mode, and you have to turn it off and on, like the switch off and on again.
Yeah, but you can get that mapped out. Like if you just get it remapped, you can get rid of that. So yeah, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, it's a fairly modern car, isn't it? And modern cars are terrible for electric stuff. I think it's still relatively easy to bypass everything.
Yeah, it's just something you need to know, isn't it? If you're going to get a 350Z and use it for drifting, out of the box, you're going to struggle because some of the electronic stuff needs to be bypassed.
Yeah, like even if you hold the traction control button and it says everything's off, you literally can't do a handbrake turn because it'll just turn it back on. Like you just get like an emergency thing come up.
Oh, is this like the GTR where it's just boring by design?
Yeah, they're not designed to go side. They're designed to allow you to have a little bit of fun, but as soon as you try and actually do a proper drift, they're just like, oh no, panic.
You're crashing now.
Yeah, the GT86 was the same. It had like you turn everything off, but then if you got so much angle, it would just turn it back on and panic. So you had to again have like a little box that turned that off. But
I don't like. You should just have a big red button that says "Don't press this."
Just let people turn it off.
Like, let us have some fun in some cars, please. That's why I have. What's my new 2005 is my newest car, and that's the toaster, which is
what's a toaster?
The Honda Spike that
you put bread in it.
Yeah,
we're a normal toaster. But what's the toaster in this context?
The
Nissan
Honda
Cube,
Spike
isn't it?
is the greatest little shop thing that I've ever had, because like back seats drop flat into the floor, so I've got a van, but then the front seats fold flat into the back seats, so I've got a camper. For when I want to go camping places, I can comfortably fit 2 full sets of 15s for the MX-5 in the back of it. So if I want to go on a track day, the missus can drive the Spike, I can drive the MX-5 down. It's just a good little toaster.
But what's this got to do with turning traction control off?
But like that, I can still turn everything off in the Spike.
Oh right.
And be an idiot in it.
I get you. Yeah.
I don't have traction control in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also don't have power steering.
You also don't have any power.
The only
I have 232 horsepower. Thank you.
That's cute.
What's that in llama thrust?
232.
What does the 350 setup make, Chris? I can't remember now.
Oh, the twin turbo?
Yeah.
It's like 620 or something, isn't it? With the flywheel.
All I heard from Chris there is, I need to do more work on the Stagia. It's literally, as soon as he said that number, I was like, well, there's my bank account empty.
I mean, it's fairly pokey, that setup.
It's very pokey. Considering we went tiny turbos, it's very... I was not expecting that much power at all, because we just went for response. We went tiny turbos, small exhaust runners, just to make it just spool up really quick.
Yeah.
What size turbos was that?
GT25 54s. So it's like the smallest ball bearing turbo the Garrett do. And yeah, we were like, oh, we'll just make it spool up quick, and if it makes 450 horsepower, cool. And then it made like 560 at the wheels or something.
The original target was like 500, and we thought, oh yeah, it'll probably about make 500 on these.
Yeah.
How much boost is that?
It's 1.1 bar, so it's not like crazy.
That it?
Yeah, it's not crazy high.
Like 15, 16 psi then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 14's 1 bar. Yeah,
wow.
It's a fairly big engine to start with, though. You got to remember it's 3.5 liters.
Yeah.
So 1.1 bar is basically double the amount of air that you would put into an engine. So it's quite a lot.
It's good. It goes well, doesn't it? But it does taper off a bit towards the top end.
Yeah, which was kind of to be
But
expected.
you don't.
Yeah.
You're not.
You just go up a gear, right?
Yeah, but to us, when you're driving it, you don't notice that taper off. From looking at the dyno, you would think you'd get to like 5,000 RPM and then suddenly feel it sort of slow down. But you don't notice that at all, do you? But you've been a passenger.
Yeah, because kind of what actually ends up happening is that you end up sort of sitting in that sweet spot as it tapers off the power, then the wheel speed comes down, you end up sat there. Like if you listen to your runs, you're never banging off the limiter even when you're full throttle. It just sort of gets to the revs it wants and it sits there.
But to be fair though, I was talking about when you're going down a straight, as in like just driving it normally. Like, yeah, you don't like when you're going down that T-side straight, you don't notice it start to dip off, do you? It just feels like it just pulls all the way.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm impressed. So that's why I was sticking with the same turbo setup and everything for the 370, just moving it to make it way easier to service and work on because it was a nightmare. So we've got the turbos like underneath the car, and it was just an absolute nightmare to work on.
That's cool, but
It was a cool idea, and like I'm glad I did it because I kind of just set out with the goal that I'm going to make it fit with a front radiator and not have to do all that. But it was a nightmare to work on, and
is that
Go, sorry?
Is that the biggest thing you're looking forward to? Is rear mount, so you've got more room?
Yeah, I think so. Just making everything easier to work on and easier to spot problems, and like just if anything we had to do on the 350 was just a nightmare because like I dreaded if there was ever like a coolant leak or anything like that. I was like, you mean I'm going to have to take the entire like everything out the engine bay just to get to one coolant hose that's down there because there was so much stuff on top of everything. So it was just a nightmare. So that's the idea this time, just make it easy to work on.
Yeah, everything's
Hopefully.
spread out.
Yeah, spread stuff out.
Nice.
Rear radiator. And then also that's moving weight to the rear as well, isn't it?
And
That was the other thing, yeah.
Because you've cut all the weight out by getting rid of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
rust.
That was the other thing with the 350. I didn't really do any weight saving at all. And then we added 2 turbos and an intercooler and all this other stuff. And it was a heavy car. It was, 1,500 and something kilograms. And we
Wow.
weighed it. So
Good
that
600-700 kilos more than my car.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, when you throw it into a corner and it would just slide for miles because of all that inertia, all that weight.
I'm
you off the track.
pretty sure my 2 sunroofs in the stage here wear that.
You need to cut them out then.
No, I
There you
don't. No, I don't. Because what I do is I just turn up places and have people drive me around stood in the back, like some sort of pope or tank commander.
Waving at people out the side.
Yeah, exactly. Just stood on the
You'll be able
back.
to do that with yours, Chris.
We will. We're going to cut the roof off soon, aren't we? Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have the big open hole in the back where the radiator is.
That is true,
I
yeah.
have to go for a ride on a parade lap.
Do it, yeah. You think they'll let us?
You can do that like plexiglass halfway with the ducting.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not going to be completely open.
No. But if you sat on the radiator, you'd be out of the car.
You're going to trust my welding enough to sit on that radiator the way we're going to mount it?
Maybe not.
No, maybe not.
Yes, am I right in saying you learned to weld and fabricate on the 350? You've never done it before?
Yeah, pretty much. Literally just watch some YouTube tutorials, bought a welder, and had a go at it. It's not as hard as people say. It's hard to make it look nice. It's really hard to make it look like professional and really good. But to actually just stick 2 pieces of metal together and have them not break, even when they get to 1,000 degrees, it's not that hard. But yeah, it's just hard to make it actually look good. Like to make a Walton manifold or whatever, I can never do that. But to make a manifold that holds together and works, that's not too bad. So yeah, if anyone's thinking of trying it, give it a go.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just practice. Which when you built the 350, like you did everything, every single bit of fab. Chris did it all. So by the end of it, there were a lot of hours of practice.
Yeah, you can tell the stuff that I made towards the end versus the beginning. Like the welding's a lot better, but the problem is though now because I haven't done any welding for a year on the 370, I'm like I'm gonna be kind of like starting again. But you have to make sure I do some practice when you're there, Bryn. Force me to do practice runs instead of just welding stuff straight away.
You're not going to weld on Bryn, are you?
I might weld on Bryn. I think I have welded on you, haven't I?
Yeah, I've held a few things that while they were being welded, which is definitely not the preferred method, but we were getting a bit lazy and tired.
Yeah.
Do I spend 20 minutes trying to clamp it and hold it? No, Bryn, put your finger in it.
Exactly. Well,
as we've said before, my attitude to safety is no. So...
Safety squint, right?
What?
Safety squint with an angle on it.
Fine.
Hey, we've all been there. The amount of times. But then you hear some horror story about a guy doing that and losing his eye, and you're like, maybe this isn't really worth it.
I almost got hit in the face by a Dremel blade, but luckily I decided to put a full face helmet on because I was scared. For some reason I did it, and the blade came off the Dremel and hit the thing and span off.
Jesus Christ.
See, I'm all about PPE that stops you losing an eye or maiming yourself. But if the choice is going to completely die or wear PPE, I'll usually go for die.
So yeah, another one of those magical test cars that you've seen in this episode. Milton's computer is...
It probably needs a restart.
Everything needs a restart.
You've just been playing on Assetto too much, haven't you, Milton?
He's filled up the entire computer with Assetto tyre models.
Yeah.
No room left.
It's 5 days since it was last restarted.
What? He started now. Poor thing.
Psychopath.
5 days.
Yeah.
It's-
I
computer, it's
shut
not
my
a phone.
machines down every night.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what my work laptop is?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Especially not giving you what you work in. You should
Yeah,
know
you work in
better.
IT support. You should know this is terrible.
45 days, I think, is up to.
No.
My friend's laptop went over 100 days without restart, and I don't think it's still been restarted.
God.
Uptime of 100 days.
So getting back
Why?
on topic.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask Chris some more questions, but I know everything. So
You can ask
somebody
me
else.
No
questions.
shit.
I know nothing, so
Ask away. There's not that much interesting stuff. I mean, BDC side of things, like what have we done? We've done 2 years of BDC now.
Yeah.
We'll be doing it again this year, half of it, I guess. And then there's UK DC as well. Lindsay's going to hate me for mentioning that. There's UK DC as well.
Are you planning to enter both?
Hopefully, yeah. I don't really know what's going on with UK DC.
Is it just for seat time, do you think?
Yeah. Like, I'm not expecting to. I mean, I'm never expecting to go out and win championships or anything. So I'm not expecting to do particularly well this year with the whole new car and everything. Like, there was someone said the 370 is like not a good platform for drifting, wasn't it? I think it was Luke Barker. Can't remember. But like, I haven't. It seemed fine when I did a test day in it. It was NA.
I mean,
So
The thing is, in a lot of ways, you're in quite a nice, unique position in that if you're not worried about doing a whole championship and winning that championship, you can pick and choose what events you want and
Yeah, exactly.
make it easy and get used to it.
yeah.
So you don't have to drive 12 hours to Driftland if you don't want to.
I do think
Do you like a bit of Driftland?
I was going
though?
to say, I wish Driftland was closer. I like Driftland.
I kind of want to roll up to Driftland just to film there.
It's a cool place. It's just a shame it's so far away.
Yeah, but you do get the wonderful Scottish road trip.
I'm sure.
What's been your favourite event, Chris, you've done in BDC Drift Cup
Oh, I don't know
in
actually.
your drift career?
My drift career. I don't know. That's a tricky one, to be honest. NEC was like the most unique and like different. It was quite a fun track, but it was sketchy because the surface changed all the time. But yeah.
Curbs and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was like 5 different types of tarmac in one corner, so it was real hard to do consistently. But
Wasn't it really wet as well?
yeah, we had the practice day was bone dry, like boiling hot, and then
So it felt really good, and then you get the wet, you're like, oh, I have no grip.
Yep. But you'd be like, I have no grip. Oh no, now I've got loads of grip. Oh no, now I've got no grip. Oh no, now I've got loads of grip in the space of like 10 seconds. So it was brutal. That was probably the one that stands out in memory the most because it wasn't, like a T-side day like normal, like tracks that you've done all the time. In terms of best, I don't know. It'd probably be like back in Drift Cup days in a T-side when I qualified 4th and finished 4th. That was probably the most fun day.
Yeah.
Yeah, got rammed off the track by Danny Wyman. Yeah.
That was hilarious. The reason that Chris lost, right? I mean, fair play to you. So what happened is on his battle, Chris is in the lead, Danny's behind him, and Danny comes in fully backwards, coming towards him, and Chris basically just bottles it and leaves the track because Danny was going to hit him, right? Afterwards, Danny said, oh yeah, 100% I was going to hit you.
His tyres were gone, yeah.
100% he was going to hit you. But if you'd stayed on track and not left the circuit, you would have won.
Yeah, it smashed into me, and both of our cars would have had damage, but I'd have probably got 3rd place. And I was like, you know what? I still stand by that decision. I'd rather... Who cares if you get 4th place or 3rd place? Like, do you know what I mean?
Was that in the second half of the battle or the first half?
Second half, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was nothing you could do.
Yeah, I completely threw it.
You couldn't even... Yeah, that's... It's like sportsmanly, you couldn't even say...
No, he did. I remember he said, he was like, oh, if they give me it, I'll just tell them that you should have won. And then the next thing I know, he's drinking the champagne. I'm like, yeah, really.
Sure.
We got a great photo out of him trying to open that champagne.
Oh god, yeah, I've never opened a champagne bottle. He gave me the champagne bottle to open because he's like, you know what, you should have had this. I've never opened a champagne bottle. I nearly took his eye out, with the cork.
By accident, right?
Yeah, back to yeah. I was like, oh, it's like you sliding into my car, mate. Yeah,
Pointing at him, and he's like, whoa.
I don't know. No one teaches you how to open a bottle of shaken up champagne, do they?
Which event are you most looking forward to in the future?
I don't know. Are there any events in the future?
Lockdown is forever now.
Yeah, I've kind of forgotten.
Sorry, you're trying to look forward.
Happened.
Are we doing Donington?
I don't know. Is anyone doing Donington?
I
think that was on
I
from the
think
UKDC.
Silverstone.
Yeah, I don't think that's UKDC, is it? That's the weird MS UK. No, yeah,
Oh,
Motorsport.
because there's another championship in there. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Time Attack guys are doing a drifting championship.
So that'll be
I've
expensive.
honestly lost track.
In which case, definitely Silverstone.
Yeah, any of the big tracks would be great.
Have you done Silverstone before?
No, I've seen videos of it, but never done it.
Oh, you didn't do it because it's tracks,
No.
isn't it?
No, yeah, tracks. Yeah, I've not done it.
Have you been out on
No.
Silverstone at all?
No, I don't think I've.
Keep your eye out for the hazards.
Why?
Sorry, the only time I've been out on Silverstone recently was that Lapland thing. So there's just a giant Santa globe in the middle of the start-finish straight.
What?
Yeah.
You're also doing like 5 miles an hour, which again,
Oh.
I think you should lead with that most of the time.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, what? That sounds very dangerous. Just people storming around.
I put the spike in low range and drive and didn't touch the pedals and just...
What? Why are you on Silverstone doing that? I have so many questions.
It's like
It's a Christmas event.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because all the
you
tracks
drive
to make money. Right.
Oh, gotcha.
So this is something we talked about last week when we were talking about tracks. Is we kind of think that more of the bigger tracks will open up because they've not been open for 12 months, so they'll need to get the money in from more events. So it's kind of
True. Yeah, we'll open up to drifting and stuff.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what we
hopefully.
need because the Buxton landslide scenario that we discussed.
People don't be liking Buxton.
They're gonna fix Ibisu. They're not gonna fix Buxton if there's a landslide at Buxton, right?
Why is there going to be a landslide at Buxton?
You've
It's a
your jokes are too. You're doing closed jokes, inside jokes, and Chris hasn't been on all of these episodes.
No, I don't
I don't
know. But like,
So I'll translate for you, Chris.
Okay.
So he was saying if Buxton had a landslide like Ebisu did,
Oh, right.
Buxton they're not going to fix that, but Ebisu they
Gotcha.
probably will.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Everyone loves
but other than Silverstone, I can't think of a track that anyone would put the money into to repair.
Agreed.
I reckon they would, most of them. If you think, like, right, the supercar track day things I used to go on, there was the guy who was organising them said, oh, has anyone got any tracks that they'd like to see the next, track day at? And I said, oh, what about Cadwell Park? And he said, yeah, considering it was a bit narrow and it's like 25 grand for the day to hire it. So if they're making 25 grand at a shit small track, relevant, like, compared to Donington and Silverstone, 25 grand for every track day. Think how many track days there are going on. And then all the other stuff that they do, surely they've got plenty of money to run, repair stuff.
Yeah.
I see tractors making, quite a lot of money in general, but obviously not recently. But
Yeah.
I don't
Bryn,
know.
why don't you ask your mate Cletus?
My mate Cletus,
No, Bryn's mate.
I was going to say, hey, is he a mullet friend?
Yeah, Le Mullet.
My mullet is way more luxuriant than his. I've seen it. It's a pathetic example.
Luxurious. Did he call your mullet more luxurious?
There's nothing luxurious about
No.
a mullet, Brent.
There's
But-
nothing.
Are you going to grow one, Chris?
No,
He can't.
I can't. Yeah, I ain't growing anything. A little mullet.
What about getting one of those little redneck rat tails going on down the back just to make
No.
Bryn feel more included?
When are you gonna cut it off, Bryn? What's the reason for it?
I
He's
suits
not
him
gonna-
somehow.
He's not going to cut it off now.
That's the legit reason. I grew it for Movember, and then far too many people said, I don't like how much I think that suits you." That's it.
So it's here to stay now, is it?
Eventually, I'll shave it off. Eventually.
In a few years.
I know. Anyway, back to drifting.
drifting.
Yeah.
Any more?
I guess one that. How did you find? I mean, I know this, but how did you find the step from Drift Cup to BDC?
I think I entered BDC at a weird time when it went from having all the top guys like Dwayne McKeever and everyone in it, and Matt Carter and all those guys. The year that I came up into it, obviously I wasn't in the pro class anyway, but the year I came up into Pro-Am, it seemed like a lot of people that would normally be there weren't there. So it was like the step up wasn't as much as I think it would normally be, or as much as I expected.
Is that because people didn't have cars built or they
I don't know.
didn't turn up or...
Yeah, I don't know what the reason was. Like I said, the first round, hardly anyone turned up. So that was like a very kind of easy entry into it because, like I say, qualified just by turning up. And then even throughout the season, it just didn't seem to really pick up that much as it normally would. I think now it's starting to get back to that. Like the year after, in fact, I'd say there's more of a difference between the first year of BDC and the second year than there was going from Drift Cup to BDC. Like the second year seemed way harder because everyone else got better.
I was even thinking about like the step up in car, because I remember one of the biggest things that we discovered and that you discovered was that when you're on road tires in Drift Cup, you can hit a line. It's actually pretty easy. You got all the time in the world. You put 600 horsepower in a car and then put semi-slicks on it, and you are not prepared for how fast things happen.
Yeah, that's the biggest change. Is I always thought, I think I've said this before in videos and stuff, but I always thought that I was decent at line driving, like I said, qualified fourth or whatever at T-side, and I just needed a bit more power, a bit more angle and all that stuff, just to make a bit more of an impact, go faster, be able to keep up with everyone. I didn't think my line would suffer, but it does massively. As soon as you've got way more grip to go faster, it's now a million times harder to hit that same line every time or to get the car exactly where you want it. So I'd say that was the biggest difference was, just realizing that everything happens way faster. It's way harder to control. When you initiate and enter, you're pretty much just like along for the ride through the rest of the track at that point. Like it all depends on your speed and the way you set the car up for that very first initiation. Because after that, you've got to just be flat out on the throttle most of the time. Because if you lift off, it'll start to grip up or you'll slide off or whatever. That was a big difference. I thought more power would just mean faster and more smoke and better, but it actually means it's way harder. It obviously does mean you're faster, but it means it's harder. So
do you like the direction drifting's going in of mega grippy, stupid angle, lots of power? Or do you think it's nice, the old Drift Cup of rack spacers and 300 horsepower?
I think it kind of has to go that way towards the top level, because otherwise what do? You just keep all going around really slowly. I think if you want to progress and everyone just wants to beat everyone else all the time in competition, you've got to keep stepping it up. And the only logical thing to do is go faster and faster, because then people can't keep up. And I know it's a bit shit because it's not supposed to be a race. It's supposed to be drifting. Yeah, and it's just the most money wins kind of thing, which I don't think is technically true. But yeah, I think it has to go that way, really. I think there's no problem with having both as well. You can have championships where you're allowed to spend whatever money you want and go as fast as you want. And then you can have a championship where it's limited. I don't think Drift Cup actually impose any kind of limit, do they? But I know some champions.
I messaged the BDC guys about it, and they said they think they're going to do no sequential.
Oh, Milton's gone.
Bye, Milton.
He'll be back in a second.
Bye, Milton.
Sorry. It was no sequentials, radiator in the front, and I think that was it of the limit. So that to try and keep it more road car-y and budget friendly.
Yeah,
but
for the series, is that?
Yeah, I think it should go for one more. And I think IDC are doing it is street tires.
Yeah. I was going to say I know one of the Irish championships they limited it to a specific tire.
Either a specific tire or a road tire, not because semi-slicks you can drive on the road.
Yeah.
But I think having a road tire as the limit, and just no Westlakes, the semi-slick versions or whatever, I think that would make it definitely entry level, because semi-slicks are getting quite expensive when you're talking 265 18.
Yeah. The amount I spent on tires was crazy.
How much is a Westlake 265? That's what you're running, isn't it, Westlake?
Yeah, 265 Westlakes. Yeah. I don't know how much. I think it ends up being about 65 quid per tire or something. I buy them in a pallet of 32 or something at a time, and it's a lot of money. It's like $2,000 or something to buy a pallet of tires.
And how long does that last you approximately? Is that
it lasted me about the whole season, maybe a little bit more. But most people don't get. My car was quite kind on tires considering the power. Some people get
driving.
I don't, maybe because I wasn't on much angle all the time. Maybe that's better for the tires. I don't know. I was relatively shallow compared to a lot of people on angle because I didn't have an angle kit.
Bryn can answer that question.
Well, yeah. Do you think it makes a difference?
Speak engineer to us, Bryn. Fetch the fluffy lab coat.
I don't know that answer. I imagine that being on less angle probably does help, because you're not when you're on massive angle, I can imagine that the tires being chunked up and pulled off. Whereas when you're not on a lot of angle, you are just vaporizing the rubber. So I guess, and that is a guess, that if you're on a lot of angle, you're going to be losing bits of tire rather than just slowly destroying
burning it.
Yeah, well, I think that makes sense.
Theory checks out.
Some people get like 2-3 laps, don't they, to a set of tires? Like, I can't. Yeah. I think if I was at that point, I don't think I'd want to be doing it, because you're just coming in to change tires more than you're actually drifting.
It gets
surprised because you've got a really heavy car in comparison.
Yeah.
Usually, the heavier the car, more power, it kills tires quicker. Because like mine and Bryn's car, we could do whole day on one set nearly.
I usually did, yeah.
Yeah,
I used to when the 350 was NA. Like, you get like maybe 2 sets for an entire day. It was great, but
it gets to that point, doesn't it, though, Milton, that you've made before, where if it stops being fun,
like gambling, yeah. When the fun stops.
When the fun stops.
I think people are kind of, I don't know whether people are realizing that now or there's a bit more of a trend to it, but there's always been, a lot of people saying that they're super against competition driving because of the style and how it's all grip and smoke and stuff. But that needs to exist, but that doesn't have to be competition. BDC top level, Formula Drift top level, it should be the most power, the most grip, and the most ridiculous runs you've ever seen. But you should have things like that IDC where there's a tire limit, and like Drift Cup, as a lot of people say, Chris, and you know this very well, is a lot of people say the most fun they had driving was Drift Cup because it was kind of easy going and you could get close to people and it was easy. And there should be a top level for that as well, where you don't go crazy grip, because it's a whole different...
Shows off more driver skill.
Yeah, like if imagine the guys that are at the top level of BDC, if they'd stayed on those tires and they were still in the top of Drift Cup, you can imagine the battles would be just as insane.
Just imagine 20 cars, all exactly the same, all the same angle kit, tires and whatever, and then put the 20 of the best drivers in to see what happens.
See, everyone always says this as like an idea for a championship, but people aren't actually keen on that when it comes down to would you enter it, because I don't want to just buy the same car as everyone else and put the same angle kit on it as everyone else and do everything exactly the same as everyone else. Like, there's not much fun. Like, half the fun of drifting is building the car, isn't it? So take out.
I was thinking more of a not Formula One, but touring cars. Oh great, my video's gone. Sorry.
Thought you were going to come back.
You're a liability.
Milton just is technical issues. Yeah. This is because he's good. So the moral of that story, kids, as we've already discussed, is just restart your computer on a regular basis.
Yes, you're boasting about your 4 days of uptime.
Chris has made more money from IT-related stuff than Milton, so we should probably listen to him.
Does that make me more qualified to talk about uptime?
Yeah.
I
don't think so.
No.
It's directly related to the amount of money in the bank. We just all have to listen to Bill Gates on everything technically related.
Oh, interesting.
That's my friend's uptime on his screenshot from his task manager.
No.
Like, you can do that, but just you're only hurting yourself. Like, why?
Apparently it's fine.
But it could be so much finer if you'd restarted it.
I know.
It's not fine.
So...
Anyway, yeah, what were you saying? You were saying something about F1 cars.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be more... I think it would develop a lot of good battles and show who's a good driver and not, or maybe not a bad driver, but who is the best of the best.
The other side of
Everyone was equal.
The other side of that, Milton, is actually, yes, we need series that in any motorsport that are here's the limits, because then it makes it accessible to people. But also, if you look at Formula One, it's not the prototype cutting edge that it used to be. I haven't seen a 6-wheeled car in Formula One since a million years
because of the rules, but they're always pushing the rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking, can you imagine you put James Dean, Dwayne McKeever, Chelsea Denova, Forsberg, Turk, the best drivers from around the world, and then see who's...
But who will tune in to watch them just going slowly around the track with no smoke?
Milton.
I think it would be a really good show. because it'd be door on door and it would show.
This Milton, in which case, if you want to see that, what you got to go do is raise some capital, have some conversation with some
That'd
TV
go fun,
types.
I need to put some Gorilla Glue on my hair, yeah?
Yeah.
Go
Exactly
viral.
that.
Done. Like, I'm not
Seen-
against it. I think it would be
What, Gorilla
good to
Glue in the
watch.
hair, or
Yeah, all of it. Gorilla Glue his hair. Shut up. Yeah, I think it'd be good to watch.
And,
Well,
yeah, it's the second thing. Because I know drivers have got commitments and sponsorship, like James Dean is Falcon and whatever, but
what about
just
what
as
about
a...
this, what about this concept then, Milton? It's all one series,
Hmm.
but you have one round of battles with their car. You have another
Yeah.
round of battles where they're in a standard car supplied by the series. It's literally luck of the draw as to who gets what car on what day. So it's mixing it up. It's not even something they could have just found the perfect oil that no one can check is the exact same oil, right? To make it run slightly more efficiently.
So it's just a bag of keys and you just put your hand in and grab
Yeah.
one.
Well,
And then
that's
just
how
press the
Formula
unlock
W-
button.
Yeah, that's how Formula W works, isn't it? The
Formula W?
Formula W is in the women's formula that was set up. Even your car and your race engineers are not you. They're the series.
Yeah.
You get
Okay.
a random team every day.
That's wild. Like,
Never
the whole
heard of that.
team.
But
My
that,
parents are really into it. They watch them all.
that would really sort out like who deserves the win.
It would, but like that Formula W is like one of the only examples of that happening, isn't it? No one else does that for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to pick your battles. I don't think I would ever want to go to that level. I don't think that that's a good idea. But it depends on what you're looking for. If you're trying to work out who is the best driver, then that is the a example of how you find the best driver. If you want just to have fun, then you want to try and put limits in that don't stop people from doing what they want, but they keep the cars at the same level playing field. That's difficult.
Yeah.
I think drifting's quite good in that you can limit the tire, and that probably goes a very, very long way to achieving that goal. Because
You could have wise fab, but if you're on the same tyres, you're still just going to be crabbing at 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. You can let people have an angle kit. It doesn't benefit them at all.
Slows them down, in fact.
Yeah, in that situation, it doesn't benefit them at all.
The only thing I would say about the tyres being like this massive limiting factor, and they obviously are, but like when I had the 350 NA on those Ginu 235 tyres, I've been around Santa Pod hundreds of times and know roughly what it felt like. As soon as we did that when it was twin turbo on this exact same tyres, as like a test before we went on to the semi slicks, it was so much faster. You're still going to hit a limit at some point, but it still made a massive difference having more power on the same road.
Oh,
tyre.
for sure. Yeah,
So,
there's only so you kind of have to.
Pick your battles, so to
Yeah,
speak.
you'd have to do something engine-wise, presumably, but it's one of those
Well,
things.
that would be really hard to
don't want
police.
Yeah, but people like it, don't they? Like some people want to turn up in an LS, and some people want to try and ram so much boost down their SR that it cries at them every single event. And you should let both of those people do what they want to do.
Yeah.
The people with the SR20s won't finish the event, but they'll be happy.
They won't start the event. Let's be honest. But yeah, no, I think it'd be great if you could have both. But in reality, I don't think drifting's quite big enough to have both. So I think the one that you're going to end up with is the flashy,
Best
fast
of the best.
smoke. Yeah,
All right,
best for sponsors.
what about, you know, they do the Battle Royale?
Yeah.
What about that? But there's one round in the year where you all have to use the same tire. Well, I suppose that is it. Nah, so that's a stupid thing. We all do anyway. Everyone's on freaking Westlake.
Yeah, everyone's on the same semi-slicks anyway. But
Okay, well, we've just proven that doesn't work. Okay, you
It's-
all have to use Ginus in your 1,000 horsepower cars.
just use some like rock hard. The tires that they put on their GTA 6 are standard, whatever they were, Michelin Premises. They
Can you
were dead.
imagine
No.
being
Why do I feel like they're run flats as well, Chris? Like,
I think they were. They were horrendous. Like when I got that car, right, standard GTA 6, I got it in January or something, so it was freezing cold. And literally it was a death trap just driving it around the road on those tires, the stock tires. Like the person who I bought it off, they said they were selling it because it scared them to drive it. And I was like, what a pussy. And then I drove it and was like, I can see why. Like you'd go around a roundabout and it would just start sliding when you're doing like 10 mile an hour in like third gear, not trying to do anything. It would just start sliding. It would understeer, and then it would oversteer. It was fucking sketchy for a stock car. So those tires were just horrendous. But...
I mean, a lot of the problems with that car in general were that they said that whole thing about they wanted to design it so that it felt fun to drive at normal speeds.
Yeah.
And I've heard the complaint again and again, and I think we found the same thing with yours, is that was probably true. And as a fairly standard example, it felt like it was pretty engaging to drive. And then you actually give it any grip or power or anything like that, and suddenly all of the suspension geometry and stuff is just wrong, because it's meant to try and feel like it's got grip on a tire that had none.
Yeah, it's meant to feel fun, but then when you actually try and like make it good, you kind of counteracting all the stuff that's just there to make it feel fun. It's like if you go to town with it, swap every aspect of it like people do when they compete in GT86s, different engine, different steering rack, different subframe. Everything, I'm sure it's great. A lot of people seem to like the platform, but when I just kept the standard engine and just built it and turboed it, put an angle kit on it, all that stuff, it was not good.
But the 86 is one of those weird cars that's just kind of like they've built it and they've deliberately left stuff out because they know the kind of people that are going to buy that car are not leaving it stock anyway.
Yeah. I think I'm glad they exist. I just remember being quite disappointed with a lot of the stuff when he tried to actually make it a good car. It turned out it's not great unless you want to swap absolutely everything on it and make it a different car, basically. That was my only issue with it. But other people like them. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else you want to discuss?
Don't know. Bryn, Milton?
I don't think of more specific to your journey.
Journey. Wow. Milton, this is your life, mate. This is some idiots chatting about cars.
Oh, he's just calling Chris an idiot. Wow, that was bold.
What's next, Chris?
We've got the content already. I can call him what I want.
What's next? You're going to come and help me finish the 370. That's what's next.
What's after the 370?
We haven't even finished the 370 yet.
Do you not do this thing that I do where I'm like 5 cars ahead of where I'm at right now and no...
I'm on Auto Trader like every night looking at cars, but like I'm not going to buy any of them.
Have you ever done that thing where you go to the dealership and you look at the car you can't afford and then accidentally start negotiating on it?
Oh yeah, I nearly bought an Audi TT RS when I was like 18 or something.
The thing is, you can afford it. So.
I nearly spent about £500,000 that I didn't have.
On what?
An Lexus LFA.
Oh, they are nice though. They are nice.
There was one in the Stoke dealership and I just went down and I was like, I'm going to go and have a look at it. I want to see it. And Amy was thinking about getting a Lexus at the time, so I was didn't tell her why I was suddenly pro.
Maybe this one.
No, it wasn't that. No, if we'd have bought that, she wasn't going anywhere near it. It's mine.
With the 370, what's the most exciting thing?
You sorry?
With the 370, what's the most exciting thing you're looking forward to with it? Apart from it being easy to work on.
I think the angle kit after the first test day. What's Bryn laughing at? What are you thinking of?
Doing a whole session without having to do a cool down lap.
Yeah, that would be good actually. Yeah, not having to worry about the engine bay temps so much. That would be nice. Well, that depends if we make a better coolant system this time, doesn't it? Really?
It can't be worse.
It can't be worse.
Don't say stuff like that. Don't jinx yourself, man.
There's a point at which you're so far away that you know it's unjinxable.
How far away is the car to being done realistically?
A long way. Because the way I've been trying to explain to Bryn is the 350 twin turbo build. I spent like all day, every day, like 14 hours a day for 3 months solid, I think, working on it. And it only just got done in time. And it took like 3 or 4 months. This one, we're pretty much doing all the same work again. Like I've had to make manifolds and make an intercooler and all that stuff again. But now with a load more work because we're rewiring the whole car, we're doing rear radiator, we're changing.
But you know what you're doing now.
Yeah, but it hasn't really sped it up that much.
And Bryn knows a lot more. Is that the problem though? Yeah. He knows so much. He goes.
He slows it down.
We could just put it there, but
there's a lot of planning. We do a lot.
It adds a kilo to that side. If we put it to this side and move that there and this here and
I've got visions
flux capacitor on the back.
I've got visions of there being a full cardboard mock-up of it next to it, just so that it's never seen on camera. And that's like, and you just
did make a
occasionally
cardboard.
go, Bryn, go and play in your cardboard castle, Bryn.
You made a cardboard intercooler and something, didn't you?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of cardboard knocking
Yeah.
about.
He likes a bit of cardboard, this kid.
CAD is brilliant.
Yeah, I do like a bit of CAD.
I mean, we do a lot of planning, but I mean, that was your
All the
goal
time
for
ago.
this, wasn't it, Chris? You wanted it to be nice. It didn't just have to be good. It wanted to be something you could be proud of when it was done. So
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
always going to take longer.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, with this year with COVID and everything, and like we already know we're not going to make the first round of BDC, maybe not second. I think I'd rather just not rush it and like just do stuff properly and then be proud of it and use it for a few years rather than be like, we rushed it to get it done for March, and then COVID meant the rounds didn't even happen until June anyway, so we didn't need to rush it. So I'd rather just take it slow this year anyway.
Looking back, do you think you enjoy building the car and the process of learning and like the videos of Bryn and stuff, or the events?
I think the events are more fun, but I mean, if you don't qualify, they're very short-lived. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You turn up to BDC, you've done all that work, and you drive all the way there, and you do practice day.
Do
And
2
then-
laps.
Yeah, you don't qualify, and that's the end of your entire weekend. It's quite a sort of cutthroat sport, isn't it? But no, the events and like practice days and stuff are definitely more fun. Working on the cars is weird. I don't know if other people who work on the cars would think the same thing, but I don't actually enjoy it as I'm working on it. I only enjoy it kind of like looking back and like planning it and stuff like that. The
Yeah.
actual stuff, I'm like, I can't be asked to go and spanner on this thing for like 8 hours just to make one little bracket or something. But then
Well,
afterwards, you're like, glad you did it.
The worst thing is when you're doing something, and you know, I've got to do it on the other side now.
Yeah.
Or you do it on all 4 corners, and you get to the last one, and you do it in 5 minutes because you realise, why didn't I do it like this in the first place?
There's so many things like that. Like there's so much work still to do on this car. It's just like everything you do, you're like, we've still got to do all that, and we've still got to do that, and we've got to account for this being there and that. It's like, so yeah, it's a bit of a night. So I definitely enjoy the events more, but I do like building the car. I just don't necessarily always enjoy every moment of it, but I like the overall process, I guess. That'd be the best way of saying it. What were you going to say, Bryn?
Oh, I was just going to say, weirdly, I really, really, really enjoy working on the car, but it's always other people's cars. I can't be bothered to work on my car, but I absolutely love actually working on other people's cars, especially, and this is 10 out of 10, if you know exactly what needs doing, I am your man, right? Obviously, I enjoy thinking about things. I enjoy building things. But if you want a job doing and you can just say, this needs doing, I'll be happy as hell to not engage my brain.
In which case, Bryn, do you want to finally sort out that 90-degree elbow on my intake?
That sounds like thinking, though. I'm talking about, like, when we got the Wise Fab and it was like, right, we just need to put these on the car. That was a really nice day.
You think? I thought I kind of
did
hated
actually.
that day. Way harder.
I had a
You're
brief moment when fitting that Skunk 2 manifold where I was thinking of all my friends that have small hands. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Bryn's got small hands.
Yeah, and I was just like, Amy's not here. I can't even fit my hand through the gap because I got fat, like ham meat hock hands.
Meat hock?
Yeah, just that.
That's a word.
Yeah.
So I was like, Bryn could do this easily.
Bryn could. He's got very small hands. My massive in Bryn's hands. I will say that.
And on-
Knew that
on
was
that-
coming at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
what she said.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
On that note, I guess. Oh,
On that
Milton's,
note, Milton's had enough. He's gone.
Milton's gone. Right, before Milton's computer dies again.
I have one more question.
Okay, come on then.
You do drifty boy. Will you do other events? Do you think?
What, as in like track days and stuff? Or?
Track days, maybe even Formula G. Come over to my world.
You know what, I saw a video of you doing Formula G the other day, and for some reason I've never seen any footage of you doing Formula G before. And I was like, that does look quite fun. But
Shows you don't follow me. Thanks a lot.
no, this is the weird thing I do, because I'm like, well, why did I see that video and not others? I must have seen like in-car GoPro footage before, but this was like from the actual like live stream kind of thing.
That was, I'm guessing it was Coventry. You saw.
I can't remember. It was like under a bridge or something. Or
Yeah, that was from 2018 Coventry Motorfest.
Yeah. Like,
When I actually was doing all right.
If anyone,
Yeah, you crushed it.
If anyone
That was the
want
first time I've seen it from like a proper sort of live stream presentation kind of thing. And yeah, I was like, that does look fun. But the only problem I have with it, and the same reason I'm not so keen on track days and stuff, is the main bit that looks fun to me is the drifting. And I'm like, well, then why don't I just go do a drift day? That's my main thing. I love track days, but only because you can do a drift. And I'm like, well, then why don't I just go and do 100% of the time drifting? So it's like, and I get why other people like other things, but for me personally,
I like both, and it's a different challenge because you're trying to go as fast as possible, and you are on the edge of grip without drifting. Whereas with drifting, you're on the edge of the grip, but
the
drifting.
extreme. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but no, it's
a good challenge.
I'm sure it's great fun and like a proper skill challenge. But I'm always just like same with rally. Like rally looks like great fun, but again, I'm just like just the bits where they're going sideways. That's what I like.
You just want all hairpin turns, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like
right one, left one, right one.
Yeah, exactly. Just lots of ones. That's all I want in a rally stage. Just one. Well, no, I like the faster drifts as well. Bye, Milton.
Bye, Milton.
I like the...
Yeah, some of the Rockingham infield days was savage fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like faster drifting. Doesn't
Keep talking. I'll be back.
He'll be back. I like the faster drifts. Like you say, the Rockingham infield, Rip Rockingham infield was some of the best. That was a good point. Yeah, when Milton asked about the best events I've done, probably Rockingham infield were the best drift days.
That was last week's episode.
Was it?
Yeah.
We're talking about how good Rockingham was. It was
about which was the best track. Sorry, Bam. You'll have to put an overlay or something.
That's fine, mate.
I'm still here.
Just replace his entire video feed for the whole thing with just a rubber duck.
I had, for some reason, I was going to say like a Pikachu. I don't know where that's come from. Just a random Pokemon.
I really want to just edit Milton's name to David Letterman, given his pro interviewing today.
Is he normally like this?
No.
He's normally got like
I'm just trying to.
Up.
No, he's rough the cuff. No, mate.
He's clearly. He's doing this weird thing lately where, like, every now and again he'll be super professional about something.
That's what happens when you turn 30.
He's
that is what happens.
Prompting you and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got one. Yeah. How big should...
Oh, God.
That better?
Oh, no, I've gone into parallel universes again, but it's on the left-hand side this time.
Right,
I think... Okay, as long as I just line my shoulder up.
About your size.
It's about that long, but you can't see the other end because it's so long. There you go.
I think, given the Milton's finally stopped being an adult.
Well, hang on.
What?
Chris's parallel universe arm's twitching.
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Horrendous.
You not notice that? It's been like that for the last like 10 minutes or so. I thought it was.
You gotta.
I'm trying to like make it blend in.
Right.
You gotta line it back up so that we can do the outro.
Okay.
You need to go left more. You're left. There.
Right. Now that we've done lining Chris up, so that I don't have to put a whooshy thing in before anyone else goes technically wrong this week. He's been Bryn.
I'm not right.
He's been Milton.
Milton's glitching. Come on.
Bye. Bye.
He's been Chris.
Bye. I would wave my other arm.
We'll be back next week with some sort of working tech.
Maybe.
We won't list the webcam that Milton uses in our Amazon affiliate links anymore because that's clearly rubbish.
It's me.
Chris has been using a GoPro, so we
don't use a GoPro as a webcam.
We do list DJI's alternative in our Amazon affiliate links. Buy that. And the Butter and Fits link is down below. Chris's socials are down below. Bryn and Milton's socials are down below. The links to
subscribe,
the
comment
down below. Hit subscribe because we need to beat Chris. Or go and unsubscribe from Chris's channel. Either way works.
Join the many that are leaving.
Subscribe, then unsubscribe immediately.
Do it.
To give him that high and then that.
I don't care. I haven't put a video up for 3 months. I don't give a shit.
Just go comment on his last videos.
Comment saying nice twitchy arm, you weirdo. Okay. Sorry.
Thanks for watching this week. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, brilliant. I don't know.